Hello and welcome back. This is video number 2. We're going to talk about finding background information for your social welfare policy analysis class. I'm Alan Sherlin with Belk Library, and let's get started. We're going to use the library guide again. I'll refresh your memory on how to find it. We're at the library homepage at library.appstate.edu. We're going to go to the center column under Get Help and go to Library Guides for Research. In the library guides, to get to our library guide quickly, we're going to go ahead and type in social policy and search for that among our library guides. The very top one is social welfare policy analysis, and we can get started. Okay, you'll recall from the last video that the tab that it defaults to is finding policy topics and background. And as we said before, it's very important to get background on your topic before going on to finding policies on it. It really helps you to understand the full background of the policy and to know basically what are the foundations of the problem involved. So I want to take you through a number of these resources for finding background information. The first one I want to show you is in the second box below here is the Encyclopedia of Social Work. It's an online Encyclopedia of Social Work. You should all try it. I'm going to try a couple of different searches in here and show you how it has background information on a number of social welfare policy topics. As we go in here, I want you to notice that when it goes into this encyclopedia, there's a search box here of all the Oxford reference books. Don't use that. You go down here below where it says search within this work. So we're going to search within this work for a couple of different topics. The first topic I want to look at is suicide. As you can see, it highlights the words that we have searched for, suicide. But as you can see, there's terminology, demographics, which can be very useful in writing a report about suicide in general, the ethnic and demographics involved, theories of suicide, risk and protective factors, prevention, roles and implications of social work, and so on. So this would actually be a pretty good article for someone working on suicide. Let's look again for another topic within here. Let's say, for example, you're doing homelessness. So I'm going to put in homeless and search for that in social work encyclopedia. And we have homelessness. You can see also homelessness appears in a number of other articles as well. So some people may have veteran services, policies related to that, single parents, and so on. But we're looking for homelessness, and I'm going to click on that. And you'll see under homelessness, just like we found in our previous topic, we have definitions, prevalence of homelessness, characteristics, dynamics, causes, and this is very interesting, policy trends regarding homelessness, and some references that you may want to follow up on. So this resource, Encyclopedia of Social Work, is a very good one to try out. Let's look at another background information source. I'm just going to go up. You can't see off screen, but I'm going back up to my tab that takes me back to the Belk Library Social Welfare Policy Library Guide. Remember, we looked at homelessness and suicide under the Encyclopedia of Social Work. Let's try another resource. Here's one called Points of View Reference Center. This shows you pros and cons on various topics. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So within this resource, Points of View, I'm going to go ahead and put in suicide again. Assisted suicide, interesting. Euthanasia. Assisted suicide seems to be a major topic of controversy. And I'm more interested in preventing suicide, actually. So let me see if I put in prevention what happens. And indeed, there is an article on suicide prevention reporting a survey of Army chaplains which showed more than half of respondents said they needed training in suicide prevention. Interesting. Understanding suicide in black communities and other areas of suicide. So this is potentially something that could be helpful. So there are two resources that we can look at. Let's try one more resource off our library guide for getting background information. This time I'm going to go back and look at homelessness again. I'm going to pick a different one. This time I'm going to go to one called CQ Researcher. CQ stands for Congressional Quarterly, and CQ Researcher is a great resource for looking for reports on all kinds of topics. As you can see here listed, from abortion, gun control, and so on. And your topic indeed may be covered here. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and look for homelessness. I'm just going to put in homeless. And we see a number of articles here. Here's housing the homeless. And you'll notice that they put out reports every so many years. We're going to look at the most recent one. Housing the homeless. And as you can see, I want you to notice on the left-hand column, there's an introduction to the problem, overview, background information, and so on. I believe these are all listed here in one large document. And one of the interesting things about this particular resource, CQ Researcher, is it has a chronology. If I click on the chronology, it'll give you key dates of major governmental action, various things that have happened regarding that issue. This can be really useful in just giving you a chronological overview of things that have been going on in terms of homelessness, laws passed, and so forth. Also interesting is a pro and con. For some topics this is useful, whereas it gives you one discussion, pros and cons on that particular question. In this case, can new government policies end homelessness? Pretty interesting on some topics, some not so useful. There's also a bibliography, which is various resources that might be useful as well on this topic. So CQ Researcher can be a very useful resource for some topics. For others, go ahead and go on and look at a couple of others. All right. We've looked at, so far, Encyclopedia of Social Work, CQ Researcher, Points of View. I want to show you one more resource before we close today, and that's the Credo Reference. Credo Reference looks at a number of smaller electronic encyclopedias. Here I've already typed in homeless in the Credo search box. Let's go ahead and look up homeless in Credo. Good thing about Credo is it's similar to going through a library and looking at a lot of different small encyclopedias, but it brings them all together. So in this case, we have homelessness found in the Encyclopedia of Elder Care, Encyclopedia of Nursing Research, and so on. So I've found some really good, succinct articles using Credo Reference, and recommend also using it for some of your topics. All right, so this concludes today's video dealing with finding backgrounds for policy topics. And next time we will be looking at other sources for background in terms of using books and journal articles. Thank you.